حقك. الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك. هدي وارتاح تابر واطمح من حقك. بس بلاش العين، لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا بضيق خلقك. الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك. هدي وارتاح تابر واطمح من حقك. بس بلاش.
Assalamu alaikum viewers. We are at the MJC Eistadfod event 2016, which is being hosted here at the Islamia Auditorium. There are students from different schools and different age groups that are participating in today's literature competition. The theme this year is the superheroes of Islam. This competition is a perfect platform to allow our youth to express their creative abilities and to learn about some of the greatest leaders of Islam.
MashaAllah. One thing I can definitely say, I'm glad I'm not a judge today. Just a slight change in program. We're going to ask the president of the Muslim Judicial Council, Sheikh Abrams, to share a few words with his experience. He said he's going to pop in and he needs to leave, but he's reclining very comfortably there. He looks very relaxed. So I think he's going to stay for the event, inshallah. Sheikh Abrams.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am extremely overwhelmed and I'm extremely impressed with every person that came here on the stage and present what they have presented. It once again shows us the talent of our children, the research they have done. To come in front of people for these small little young ladies and young men to have come here and gave us a lesson is admirable. The courage. And that is how we directly and indirectly prepare our children for the future. Our children, they have talent. And the parents are standing here, sitting here, and have listened, have seen the talent of the children. Make dua for your children. The MJC Youth League, the MJC's Youth Desk are doing sterling work. And I've promised myself that I will give them all the assistance they need. I want you as parents to stand with us. We are serving the community. We're inculcating in our children good values. And we are preparing our children for good leadership for the future. So it is not something that we are doing today for tomorrow. It's something that we are investing for the distant future of our country, of our province, of our people. And you will find the MJC will be leading and supporting and assisting. I'm very proud to say a job well done thus far. Those who have listened carefully would pick up from every person who did his or her presentation. You can learn. Definitely you can learn. And I'm so proud that our children reminded us of those superheroes. Superheroes, when you start talking about them, the more you talk, the more you cry. The more you talk, the more you want to be with them. The more they talk about them, the greater eagerness comes into you, asking Allah, oh Allah, grant us the honor to meet were those superheroes. Shukran. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So Jazakallah khair once again to our president of the MJC, Sheikh Irfan Abrams. Next up on the program, we go back to spoken word. So we call up from Rocklands High School, Ishra Naika, from Rylands Primary School, Muaddin Lakay, and from the Leadership College Observatory, Mbali Kikamana.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Ishra Naika and I will be doing the spoken word by Kamal Salih, the greatest woman. You know, something must be wrong when almost every song has sex as its basis. When rap stars get famous after making lyrics that are shameless. When a woman is expected to sleep with a man who doesn't even know what her name is. And when artists are paid to degrade the very women that have made them. To the point that they are no longer but pieces of plastic that we can dispose of once they are no longer attractive. It's sickening and sadistic that this world's become so misogynistic. You call me unrealistic? Just listen to the statistics. 7 in 10 men view porn while over 75 million are addicted. 68 million requests a day for pornographic pictures, making 1 in 4 searches sexually related. It's like nobody ever knew she existed until she got naked. Degraded and abused over and over again just to gain extra views. It's a shame we've subdued to a definition of beauty which is so misconstrued. As we judge each other's looks off Facebook likes, Instagram pictures to filter off what we really look like. See, we are so obsessed with our outside we have sullied our sight of who we really are in real life. I mean, it's sad to see so many teens lose their self-esteem, looking at these magazines, thinking they have to look like what they see. Please, you are worth much more than a 2D image on a screen. You are a living, breathing human being. If only you knew what you really mean. Just look into your history books and begin to read of all the girls in the world who were capable to achieve, and you will see with certainty females like Fatima al-Fihri, who opened the first ever university, Rufayda al-Aslimiya, the first nurse to perform surgery, and Aisha bint Abu Bakr, the greatest female scholar in eternity. It's a shame you probably haven't even heard of these great female prodigies. Honestly, we don't have to give up our modesty in order to be successful. For you are worth much more than a commodity that is sexual. You have so much more potential. If you only knew your worth, you could be like the greatest of all women to have walked this earth. You have so much more potential if you only knew. Like Mary, the mother of Jesus, chosen by Allah to be an example for all believers, a woman who was strong even when she was abused, falsely accused and ridiculed for things she would never ever do. So it didn't really matter when there was nobody else beside her, for she knew that God was Al-Razaq and her ultimate provider, and she had her trust in Him alone. Just like Asiya, the wife of Fir'aun, a woman who was brave and courageous, stood up for what was right, and didn't let anybody change this. A woman who was fearless and laughed in the face of death, for she gave up the riches of this life for a palace in the next. Next up, Khadija bint Khuwaylid, the mother of all believers, a wealthy merchant who had nurtured the Prophet for over 25 years, his first wife, his love of his life, for she was the mother of his kids. She was the first to believe in him when nobody else ever did. She just eased beyond any words that can make you understand. She, just like her daughter, Fatima bint Muhammad, the mother of all women in paradise, a woman who would shine so bright she was nicknamed Al-Zahra, the splendid one with the most generous of hearts, a woman who gave up so much of her food she had no choice but to fast. She would fight on behalf of her father even as a little girl, and such are the examples of the greatest women in the entire world. and it had nothing to do what they look like, but for who they truly were. So ignore the standard of success defined by society, when God has said that the best of mankind are those who have piety, regardless of your shape, your color, or your race. For God does not look at your bodies, nor does he look at your faces. He looks towards your heart and checks your faith. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the people say or who they think you are, when you could be like the greatest of all women to have walked this earth in the eyes of Allah. Shukran. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك الحمد لله تافر وضح من حقك بس
Who is Allah? Allah is the proper name applied to true God who exists necessary by himself with all his divine names and attributes and perfection. Allah is one. He has no God, no partner, no equal, and no son. Allah is omnipotent, which means Allah is extremely powerful and can do anything he desires. Allah is also omniscient, which means Allah knows all and sees all. Allah created this beautiful universe and sustained every living organism on it. Allah is all merciful, and his mercy encompasses everything. Allah is wise, and just all the glory is due to Allah. He is far removed from every imperfection. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Balik Amana and I am from TLC Observatory and I am grade 9. I'll be performing Heroes. My heroes never wore tights or appeared on cartoon channels. They had long beards and kept clothes above the ankles. No combing the streets like beasts and not looking for thieves. My heroes fought their egos and narrated a hadith. And some of my heroes were once bad guys too. Baby killers and highway robbers, if you only knew what they knew. Cause you gotta know a lie in order to recognize the truth. So what's the point of knowing the truth if you can't back it up with proof? To prove that my heroes were united by a single point of view. Why else would they go against what their fathers used to do unless they knew that paradise was worth being abused, the best of views, if you could walk a mile in their shoes. Oh, what I wouldn't do to kick it up with Abdullah ibn Masud. Listen to him recite the Quran, sad to go into ruku. Yeah, that would be cool. But me and Hamza, we will kick it old school. Joke about the Jahiliyyah, silly things they used to do. And if I had my own crew, it would be Salman al-Farsi. And on the seek of truth, may Allah bless his spirit. Have tea with Julebib, coffee with a nice bean walik, anything to pick their brains and gain a better understanding. Could you imagine taking class with Abdullah ibn Abbas, a scholar by the age of 10, just a boy amongst the men? And if I had only one friend, it would be Abdullah ibn Fan, who is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, someone to really hold you down and really represent. When Sumaya held her chin to her killers, did she think we would name our little daughters after her to teach them strength? And who cares about these rappers? We got Hassan ibn Thabit. Dude was sick with the flow. Can't believe you didn't know that Zayn was a slave who became one of praise. Lived the American dream and America was free. And Umar ibn Khattab was held it down for this deen. A real Superman made the devils cross the street. And if I had ever beef, I would call up Khalid bin Walid. He was a ride or die homie amongst the Salaf Salihin. And if I closed my eyes, man, I could almost see Bilal amongst the cold morning breeze. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Cause surely Salah is much better than sleep. Like Abu Sufyan after he embraced the deen. On this earth, Talha was a walking shaheed. And Jafar gave his life for our Ummah's victory. May Allah be pleased and grant them all the highest levels of heaven. Like Uthman ibn Affan, who even the angels were shy in front of. Aisha was a genius, every word was like a thesis. Mother to all believers, pure like of that of Isis. Khadija held the fetus of Fatima, teacher of Hassan and Hussein, sons of Ali who was slain. Man, you gotta know these names, cause these people paved the way. It's a shame we know more about the monkeys on BET. This is our history. All the sacrifices that they made for me gave to me a legacy that I could be proud to keep. Said be it was decreed at Badr we were only 300 deep, but without angels on our side, who could even compete? Although he was a man of peace who preached peace before the souls, he waged a war against error, the worship of fake lords. Extreme in his need to feed the miskin and the poor. Yeah, he got down like that and told all the rich they should pay the zakat and make the salah and spread the salams and declare Ashhadu la ilaha illallah. What's the difference between Jannah and Jahannam? Like the mailman delivering a message. Who else do you know with the swagger that's blessed? The best and perfected, corrected the method. Medina said a mind coming from the hood of Mecca. Champion companions, whom boys were go-getters. Did it bigger and better, had followers before Twitter. The leader of leaders, Amir to believers. Enjoyed all the good and forbade all that's evil. My hero taught people that we were all equal. The best of examples outlined what was legal. Forever I'm grateful for all that he came for. May blessings and peace always reach to my mentor, my teacher, my brother, my hero, my prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And that's how we go. So tell everyone you know that this party don't stop till the son of Mary come home. I am pleased with my Lord and Islam as my deen. May we die on this words, Allahumma ameen.
Allahu Akbar. Next up, we're going to go into the poetry category, and we call up from Lenteghi High School, Tahira Hussain. From Madrasatul Ma'roof, Yasir Rylan. From the Leadership College Observatory, Rahmat Jacobs. From Tulabur Rahman, Mariam Abrams. And from Bridgeville Primary School, Afifa Borden.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Tahira Hussain and I attend Madrasatul Madina, situated in Mitchell's Plain, and I will be reciting a poem. Miracle of Iman, life of Musa bin Umayr radiallahu anhu. See, Iman is something I can't explain, neither define. So let me rewind. Now I'm going to tell you about Musa bin Umayr radiallahu anhu. See, Musa bin Umayr radiallahu anhu was the child of rich, many by which, wealthy of dirhams that he wore dress of 200 ones, and perfume from Fabian Mecca halls. He didn't come from malls. He embraced Islam in secret, but none can keep a secret that long. Who, when his parents came to know, odds was few, but he needed to go. So they tied him up, but he escaped. With that, he fled to Abyssinia, came back and went to Medina. See, the struggle was true, but he stayed strong with Iman. This is the character that can only be seen by one. It's the character of Musa bin Umayr radiallahu anhu. At the Battle of Uhud, some say the true Shaheed really shined because his adab and ahlak was on a higher level of excellence. Because with blooded arms to his bosom, he never allowed the flag to fall until he was pierced with an arrow and died. A man who lived in luxury now didn't have, but look, he had everything. The death of Uhud could not be more proper. Shreds, because in those days Muslims were very poor, lacked of money. Musa bin Umayr had only one sheet of cloth over his body. If they pulled the cloth to cover his feet, his head was bare, and when they pulled the cloth to cover his head, his feet was bare. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that they should cover his feet with azgan leaves, so that the final goodbye, the final assalamu alaikum, to send the great martyr of the Muslim nation to the Almighty. Well, now at this blank I say that the man who was the most well-dressed in Mecca and perfume who gave off a fragrant smell, when he passed to say, "This is me," Musa bin Umayr radiallahu anh, and was the first to spread knowledge in Medina, is now gone. And this great martyr of Islam, may Allah grant him paradise inshallah. And to leave you off with a small quote that the Prophet said when he saw Musa bin Umayr radiallahu anh. "When I saw you the first time in Mecca, there was nobody more handsome and more well-dressed than you. But I see that today your hair is uncombed and only a sheet of cloth covers your body. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh."
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك الحمد لله تافر وضح من حقك بس
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm going to do a poem called Injustice. Injustice. Injustice, injustice. Yes, I'm talking to you. You who prance around with your coat of armor, evil-eyed, shameless. You enter the peaceful lands and rain down your bullets on innocent children, tearing their souls and breaking their spirits. You, injustice, who bring your bulldozers knocking down homes and ripping trees from their roots, causing poverty wherever you go. But I say to you, oh injustice, bring you of misery. Someday a new dawn will rise, breaking down your coat of armor, leaving you helpless and torn, and never again to triumph. The injustice, I say, justice is soon to come. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Honored judges, respected audience members, I greet you all with the universal greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Rahma Jacobs and I am a proud leader of the Leadership College Observatory. Today, right now, I will be rendering a poem on Bilal ibn Rabah radiallahu anhum. Bilal ibn Rabah, an Abyssinian slave, the son of a black woman, a hero, my hero. Acceptant of Islam in the early days, he was one of the many who changed their ways. And in the sweltering heat of the Arabian sun, he proclaimed that Allah is one. Bound and stretched on the burning sand, owned by the brutalist master in the land, Umayyah bin Khalaf, a man who when angered became fierce and gruff. As boulders and rocks were placed on his chest, this pain and hardship but another test. Refusing to submit, he would not bow down. His cries were heard throughout the town. His ribs were crushed, but his hopes never died, humiliating those who are filled with pride. All his sacrifices indeed were not in vain, for Abu Bakr as-Siddiq provided relief to his pain. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, but even in vengeance, Bilal was kind. Dearly loved by the Prophet was he. A slave by name, yet companionship brought him glory and fame. And as the Holy Land was conquered, Bilal forgave and forgot, unlike so many of us who forget to forgive. And there Bilal stood, with a heart free of anger, animosity, and resentment. The very first adhan was called by an Abyssinian slave, by the son of a black woman, by Bilal ibn Rabah, a hero, my hero.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Maryam Abrams and I am from Tulab Rahman. I'll be reciting a poem. Mus'ab ibn Rabah was the man
Mus'ab ibn Umayr radiallahu anhu was the flower of the Quraysh, most handsome and youthful. He grew up to be a wealthy and honest man. He lived in Mecca, the sacred land. He converted to Islam and had to make decisions, left with a choice, his mother or his religion. He went with his heart and followed the deen. May Allah grant him Jannah, inshallah, Ameen. His mother didn't like his answer at all. She imprisoned her son away from it all. He managed to escape, for his deen was at stake. He left and returned and left and then stayed. After all that time, he went to see his mother, pleaded her to bear witness that there is no other. She angrily replied she'd never enter our religion. She'd never degrade her status, for it was her decision. The Prophet ﷺ chose Mus'ab, entrusting him with the task to bring the people to Islam. He had hardly been away for a few months until they sent a group of 70 believing women and men. Mus'ab and Asad ibn Zurara, when visiting other tribes, when Usaid ibn Khudayr took them by surprise. He didn't like what they were saying, but ended up listening to what they were preaching. He disliked what they were saying, but ended up listening to what they were preaching. He was overwhelmed by the beauty of his speech. He embraced Islam, for he did not disagree. Not long after, many others have followed. They saw the truth and believed what was told. Years have passed as the Battle of Badr took place. The Quraysh have lost and were furious at rage. They seeked revenge. Thus came the Battle of Uhud. Mus'ab held the standard, and so he stood. He saw the polytheists as the impending threat. Towards the Prophet of Allah, they were ending it. He created a diversion to allure them away. He raised his standard, saying Allah is great. He fought alone as if an army in himself. Sword in one hand, standard held out. They amputated his right hand and so with the left. They amputated his right hand and so with the left. He kept strong and held it out to his chest. Every time they struck him, he kept repeating the same thing. Muhammad is but a messenger. Messengers have passed away before him. Mus'ab fell and then did his standard. He sacrificed his life for the sake of Allah and the Prophet. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My name is Eistadfod. I'm 12. I stay in the Bridgeville Primary. I'm going to recite the poem on Nusayba bin Ka'b. Nusayba bin Ka'b, mighty warrior woman you are. On the battlefield you were quenching the thirst of brave men of belief near to you and far. When victory was close and posts were abandoned and defeat appeared imminent. Nusayba bin Ka'b no longer carried water, but in this battle became participant. With sword and shield in hand, she walked forward and like a lioness defending her pride, she took a firm stand. With sword and shield in hand, she fought side by side with our Prophet, peace be upon him, protecting him from arrows far and wide. Injuries were incurred, yet never once was she deterred from fighting for a purpose. Nusayba bin Ka'b, a true warrior of excellence, fought for Islam without any arrogance. Shukran.
Now moving on to our speech category once again. Our first learner from Bridgeville Primary School, Arshad Bodin. From Turfel Primary School, Rahma Hendricks. From Westridge High, Kudesia May. And from Bridgeville Primary School, Ansar Bodin.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Arshad Bodin and I'm going to recite the poem. My topic is Tawheed. Now when you speak of Tawheed, you speak of the oneness of Allah, our Creator, our Sustainer. Allah gave us life and to all shall we return. We have now to take it all for the grassy plains while wildlife roam free. The sunshine that warms us up in the summer and the winds that cool us down the winter. All glory and praise to Allah. Allah is no beginning, no end. Allah is not born, nor does He give birth. Allah is our creator, and He can govern from all creation. And Allah has knowledge of all that we do, think, feel, and nothing is in from our Rabb. Allah is Almighty, merciful and forgiving, and for us He is creating. And if we truly believe and do righteous deeds, for us there will be no grief, nor shall we shed a tear. Thus, my brothers and sisters in Islam, is Tawheed, the oneness of all worship. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Eistadfod, and I come from and I stay in Visual Primary School, and I am 8 years old. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam is inspired by Allah, just like all the other prophets, to people to worship Allah and not idols. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam warned the people of a painful punishment, but they just laughed at him, telling me he was a madman magician. Allah ordered Nabi Nuh to build an ark, but they just mocked him even more, until that day came, the day they were told about all the believers safely in the ark. Water came from everywhere, ground and sky, drowning all the disbelievers, even one of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam's sons and his wife. So, what do we learn from the story? That nothing and no one is more powerful than the Almighty Allah, not even a God made of stone.
ضيق خلقك الحمد لله تافر وضح من حقك بس
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Kutsia May and I attend Madrasatul Madinah in Mitchell's Plain. I will be doing a speech on science to discover what Quran said more than 1,400 years ago. The Quran is essentially the book of guidance, but in the Quran there is a lot of verses pertaining to science. It shows to us Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of the universe. In our school textbooks pertaining to science, if we change the word nature to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, much more people will embrace Islam. I shall discuss a few Quranic verses pertaining to science. The first example I will give you is the origin of water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Have those who disbelieve not considered that we made from water every living thing? Then will they not believe?" Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 21. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created every living creature from water, and of them are those who move on their bellies, and of them are those who walk on two legs, and of them are those who walk on four. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created what He wills." Surah An-Nur, verse 45 and 46. Close quote. The origin of water is now such a basic scientific fact that it is accepted without hesitation. But remembering the Arabian Peninsula is a desert land without a single lake or river. This verse describes something unimaginable to those at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second example I will give you is cloud formation and rain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Do you not see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala drives the clouds? Then He brings them together. Then He makes them into a mass, and you see rain emerge from within. Allah sends down from the skies mountains of clouds within which is hail. And Allah strikes from whom He wills and averts it from whom He wills. It flashes off its lightning, almost takes away its eyesight." Surah An-Nur, verse 24. The third example I will give you is
sealing the ears of the people of the cave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, so we caused a cover of sleep over the ears within the number of years. Surah Al-Kahf, verse 18, close quote. This verse referred to young men who slept in the cave for 300 years. It is surprising to note that this youth does not refer to any physical velocity of this youth except hearing. Scientists have now discovered that unlike all other sensory organs, the ear is active even during sleep. It is surprising to note that this reason people can be awakened from sleep by an alarm. Since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted these men to sleep for a long time, He therefore sealed their hearing. The fourth example I will give you is the mixing of river water and sea water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and it is He who has released simultaneously the two seas. Example, bodies of water, one sweet and fresh and one salty and bitter, and between them is a barrier and prohibiting partition. Surah Al-Furqan, verse 53, close quote. One of the explanations of this verse is that it describes the phenomenon of the flowing of the river water into sea water. The two kinds of water look alike, but river water is salty and bitter. No one can see the fine line of partition between these two waters. When it is recalled that there is not a single lake or river in the entire Arabian Peninsula, then Nabi Muhammad ﷺ could not have witnessed the phenomenon, nor could Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have imagined it. This verse is another reminder that the Quran is divine in nature. The fifth example I will give you is the origin of milk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and indeed, for you in grazing livestock is a lesson. We give you drink from what is in their bellies, between excretion and blood pure milk, palatable to drinkers. Surah Al-Nahl, verse 16, close quote. Here the Quran describes the coming together of the contents of intestine and blood at a level of intestinal wall, a mixture which nourishes the mammary gland. This is in perfect harmony with discoveries made about the makeup of digestive system of animals. Something totally unknown to mankind when the Quran was revealed to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Shukran wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A world-class facility for a world-class event, for world-class performances. I think they deserve a world-class round of applause. Moving on very quickly to our next category, we're moving on to spoken word from Rylands Primary School, Azra Hardin, from the Leadership College Hyde Park, Lukman Martin, from Douglas Road Primary School, Shirazan Creighton, and from Darul Naim Lizuhur, Aziza Brown. Please put your hands together.
My name is Lukman Martin, and I attend Madrasatul Madina, and I will be doing a poem, Heroes, by Puna Muhammad. My heroes never wore tights or appeared on cartoon channels. They had long beard and kept clothes above the ankles. No common the streets like beasts at night looking for thieves. My heroes fought their egos and narrated a hadith. And some of my heroes were once bad guys too. Baby killers and hybrid robbers if you only knew what they knew. Cause you gotta know a lie in order to recognize the truth. So what's the point of knowing truth if you can't back it up with the proof? So to prove, my heroes were united by a single point of view. Why else would they choose to go against what their fathers used to do unless they knew that paradise with words being abused, the best of you, if only you choose to walk a mile in their shoes. Oh, what I wouldn't do to kick it with Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Listen to him recite the Quran, said to go into ruku. Yeah, that would be cool. But man, Hamza, we would kick it old school. Joke about the Jahiliyyah, silly things they used to do. If I could pick my own crew, Salman Farsi would have to be in it. An honest seeker of truth, may Allah bless his spirit. have tea with Julie B, cookies with Anas ibn Malik, anything to pick their brains and gain a better understanding. Could you imagine taking a class with Abdullah ibn Abbas, a scholar by the age of 10, just a boy amongst the men? And if I had one friend, it would be Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Someone to hold you down, to really represent. When Sumaya held her chin to Wakilas, did she think that we would name our little girls after her to teach them strength? And who cares about these rappers? We got Hassan ibn Thabit. Dude was sick with the flow. Can't believe you didn't know that Zayd was a slave who became one of praise. Lived the American dream when America was free. Umar bin Khattab was a G. Held it down for this deen. A real Superman made the devils cross the street. And if I ever had beef, I would call up Khalid bin Walid. He was a ride or die homie amongst the Salih as-Salihin. And if I just closed my eyes, man, I could almost see Bilal amongst the cold morning breeze. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Because surely Salah is much better than sleep. Like Abu Sufyan after he embraced the deen. On this earth, Talha was a walking shaheed. And Jafar gave his life for this ummah's victory. May Allah be pleased and grant him all the highest levels of heaven. Like Uthman ibn Affan, even the angels it was shy in front of. Aisha was a genius. Every word was like the thesis. Mother to all believers, pure like that of Isis. Khadija held the fetus of Fatima, who was the teacher of Hassan and Hussein, son of Ali, who was slain. Man, you gotta know these names, because these people paved the way. Paved the way. It's a shame we know more about them monkeys on BET. Gave to me a legacy that I could be proud to keep. Said it was decreed that at Badr we were only 300 deep. But with the angels on our side, who could even compete? Although he was a man of peace who preached speech before the sword, he raised a war against error of the worship of fake Lord. Came to restore the deen that Ibrahim laid before, extreme in his need to feed the miskin and the poor. Yeah, he was hardcore, with his face to the floor, praying so long that his feet became sore. Oh, yeah, cause he got down like that. And told all the rich they should pay their zakah and make their salah and spread their salam and declare ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa muhammadun rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The difference between Jannah and Jahannam, like a mailman just delivering a message. Who else do you know with the swagger that's blessed, the best and perfected, corrected the method? Medina state of mind coming straight out of Mecca. Champions, companions, homeboys were go-getters, did it bigger and better. Had followers before Twitter, the leader of leaders, Amir to believers, enjoyed all the good and forbade all the evil. My hero taught people that we are all equal. The best of examples outline what is legal. Forever I'm grateful for all that he came for. My blessings and peace always reach to my mentor, my teacher, my brother, my hero, my prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And that's how it goes. So tell everyone you know that this party don't stop till the son of Mary come home. I'm pleased with my Lord and Islam as my deen. May we all down these words. Allahumma ameen.
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك. الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك. هدي وارتاح تابر واطمح من حقك. بس بلاش العين. لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك. الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك. هدي وارتاح تابر واطمح من حقك. بس بلاش